Welcome back, guys. I am Wheva here at the cave in Fairfax, Virginia, and I will be doing another Whispers of the Old Gods card review. We're this time going to do the Paladin class cards, and we have a really good one to start out with. Ragnaros Light Lord. 8 mana, 8/8. At the end of your turn, restore 8 health to a damage friendly character. This card is nuts. Like, in any slow Paladin, I think this is an auto include. This card is awesome. Like, if you think in the history of Hearthstone, every single heal effect that has ever been in Hearthstone has actually seen play. Except for maybe Voodoo Doctor. But everything else has seen play in competitive. So, like, heal effects are really strong in Hearthstone, and then this is a constant heal. It can heal your minions. It can heal itself after it trades. It's an 8 mana 8/8 that can attack, and it's an 8/8 that deals 8 mana 8/8 that does something on the turn that it's played. So even if this gets Big Game Hunter or gets removed, right after you play it, it already did something. You already got your value out of it. In my opinion, this is awesome. I love this card because it promotes control. And anything, in my opinion, that promotes control instead of tempo and aggro is awesome. And that is just bias for me. I know a lot. Stand Against the Darkness. 5 mana, summon 5/1/1 Silverhand Recruits. The Muster for Battle is Big Brother, but it just straight up worse than Muster for Battle. I think this card is straight up unplayable. Definitely a 1 out of 5. It dies to like every form of AoE. Quartermaster is no longer in standard. Even if Quartermaster is still in standard, this was Quartermaster 10 mana play, and that isn't even that impressive. It's 10 mana. You usually want to be doing something crazy or like killing your opponent. It's just trash tier. Just dust it. I really don't see this card ever seeing play. Ever. Forbidden Healing. 0 mana. Spend all your mana. Restore that twice that much health. I personally love this card. It's my favorite of all the forbidden spells we've seen. It's not. It's cool. It's a lot of. You can get so much healing out of it, and you can just straight up, you can tech this in to a slower Paladin and just auto win matchups because you draw it, and that is awesome in my opinion. Because you, at some point in an aggressive matchup, you're probably going to get back the board if your deck is built right, and then once you get the board, those decks are forced to just try to burn you out. And then you just play this for 8, 9, 10 mana, heal for ridiculous amounts, like 16, 18, 20 damage. You just instantly win the game. This card's awesome. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 3 out of 5. It's, even though it's really, I think it's really, really good, it's only going to see play as a tech card in a 1-of in slow Paladin, so it's not going to see that much play, but it's a really good card when you will see it play. Steward of Darkshire. 3 mana, 3/3. Whenever you give a minion, whenever you summon a minion, a 1 health minion, give it Divine Shield. This card doesn't impress me at all. As you're going to see down the line, they're trying to make this Divine Shield Paladin thing, and maybe with enough of these cards, it's actually a thing. I just don't see it. And traditionally, when Blizzard tries to make these kind of weird archetypes, they usually just fall on their feet, like they're just player traps, like new player traps. New player just happens. These are the kind of cards they open. They get all excited, and then they play them, and then they're not that good. I don't see this card really seeing much play. But yeah, if you play this with like Stand Against the Darkness, you get You get 5 mana. You get 5 Ardent Squires. Okay, cool. On 8. But then you need a way to buff up those Ardent Squires. It's just not that good. And it's too slow at 8 mana. So, and like if you think about, if you just play this on curve, what 1 health minion are you gonna play after it? I can't think of one. Like on curve, unless you're playing like an aggro paladin. But do you want to play this an aggro paladin? Usually like a 3 mana card, but does nothing. The turn is. I don't think you do. So in my opinion, this card is just bad. Maybe with a little bit of potential and probably decent in arena. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 because it has potential. It just right now I don't see any with the cards we have. Vilefin Inquisitor. 1 mana, 1/3 battle cry. Your hero power becomes summon a 1/1 Murloc. I wish this card was available. I don't want this to be a neutral card, but I want it to be available for more classes. Like, this is neutral would be a little insane in some decks because some decks will just play it to replace their hero power summon a 1/1. They wouldn't even care about the Murloc part of it. And it's a 1 mana 1/3, which is pretty good usually in Hearthstone against aggressive decks. So, but the thing is that unless Murloc Paladin is a deck, I really don't see this seeing play. But if Murloc Paladin where it's not just play the charge minions and buff minions, then play anything sees play, this will be pretty good. But this is kind of nerfing anything if you play this, because you're going to be summoning a whole bunch of 1/1 Murlocs with your hero power, and then when you play anything can happen, it's more likely you just get 1/1 Murlocs rather than your better Murlocs. It's conflicting. It's a cool card. It doesn't really fit with, I think, what Murloc Paladin is trying to do with anything can happen. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Light in the Darkness. Discover a minion, give it +1/+1. The card we have to compare this to is Unstable Portal. And if you compare this to Unstable Portal, this card is just bad compared to Unstable Portal, because what made Unstable Portal nuts actually was the mana reduction it had. It was not the fact that you could just get any random minion in the game. That really didn't matter in my opinion. It's the fact that you can get any random minion in the game cheaper than normal. And when you have to play full mana cost for just a random minion, usually it's not going to be that good. But the fact that this is Discover, I don't know. I just don't see this card getting that much play. It just, in my opinion, it just feels too slow. It doesn't put a body on the board the turn you play it, so you're going to want to play it later on. There's so much variance to it. And the +1/+1 isn't that big of a boost. And then you have to still play the full mana cost of the minion afterwards. So you're playing that minion for 2 mana more than normal because you had to play this card first to get that minion. So you're paying 2 mana for +1/+1. And if you actually think about it that way, this card is strictly unplayable. So I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5. Divine Strength. 1 mana, give a minion +1/+2. Do I really? I don't need to. I don't think I need to explain this card. This card is just bad. It's just bad. It's really bad. Like the best application for this card is Pyromancer in like Control Paladin. But you're gonna run this card in Control Paladin just to make sure you're to make sure you're Pyromancer. You're not. It just. This is just strictly unplayable, but Paladin got Ragnaros Light Lord, so they couldn't really give them anything else. Anything good. Anything else that's good. I think this is the last Paladin card. Oh no, we have this card, Rallying Blade. Battle 3 mana 3/2, so 1 mana more than Fire War Axe. Battle Cry, give +1/+1 to your minions Divine Shield. And again, they're trying to make the Divine Shield thing work. I think this card will see, a little bit more play if you want a 3 mana 3/2 weapon rather than you want it for its effect on it. I think this will get picked quite a bit in Arena, though. And if Divine Shield Paladin is a thing, this will definitely see play. But the issue is that this conflicts with True Silver as well, because you play it, and then you attack with it, and then you have a charge left on 4. And so you either need to and if you want to play True Silver, you have to override it, which means you lose like half of its value. And then on 3, how often are you going to have Divine Shield minions? And if this ever becomes popular, how often your opponent's not going to try to pop your Divine Shields proactively to make sure you don't get the value out of this effect? I guess it has applications later in the game if you ever get a whole bunch of Divine Shield minions. And this does let you buff up your Ardent Squire, like your makeshift Ardent Squires after you Steward of Darkness and stand against Darkness. It's just, is that really that good as a 3-card combo? In my opinion, it's just no. I think they're just better 3-card combos in the game, and I think Paladin has better ways to win the game. So I'm just going to give this card a like 2 out of 5 for the fact that it's a 3 mana 3/2 weapon and then might see play. I don't know. Okay, Selfless Hero. I actually forgot about this card. This card's awesome. 1 mana 2/1, so baseline stats. Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion Divine Shield. So this is pretty cool because you play it as baseline stats, and then when it dies, because you're probably going to trade it into something as trading stats, you can give your next minion Divine Shield. So you can almost make a makeshift mini-bot onto. But your opponent can proactively deal with it. Also, in the later game, you can play this later, and then you can play like your Ragnaros Light Lord, and then run this in and give your Ragnaros Light Lord Divine Shield. That's just awesome. Because some effects like Execute require Ragnaros Light Lord to be damaged, and it also protects it from Shield Sam. So, like, Divine Shield is good against Warrior. So, I think this card is really, really good, but my issue is that with Minibot going, like, not Minibot, but Juggler being weaker, Paladin loses, it's like 2-drop, you want to buff the most. So, but this usually is going to be used to buff Knife Juggler. It's just, and it gives you that Divine Shield effect on 2 for your weapon. It's really good. It's just, I can't see a really viable deck for this to be played, because I don't think it's really going to see much play in Control Paladin, is the thing. Because I think Control Paladin doesn't want to top deck this later on, and Control Paladin traditionally doesn't play much draw, so it needs a high density of high impact cards rather in order to maintain with its opponents, and this isn't that high impact by itself. So I don't see a place for it, but I think it's a good card. So it's a 3 out of 5 in my opinion. Pretty sure this is what you summon when you play the 1 mana 1/3 Murloc card. And that is it for the Paladin cards, guys. So if you want to see my pre-review, go on to the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.